Hey guys and gals, Vlad here with the AVT-Astro, and today I've got an exciting review for you guys, and that is of the SVBONY SV233 accessory kit. For those of you that might not be familiar, I run a little Astro blog called AVT-Astro.com, and of course this YouTube channel, so if you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Over the last 25 years, I've had the privilege of owning over 100 scopes, more accessories than I could count, and having said all that, let's get down to the topic of this video. Alrighty guys, so here's the accessory kit in all its glory. So what does it include? So basically, eyepieces wise, it comes with the 17mm Plasol and the 6mm Plasol. If you're not familiar, just real briefly, Plasol eyepieces, they're actually one of the most common, kind of good telescope eyepieces designed. So they've been around for a while. They usually use 4 to 5 elements in them. These are fully multi-coated. I looked on SVBONY's website. I could not find the actual field of view of these. They look to me like around 50 degrees. Maybe a little bit less than that, which is considered to be kind of like the average field of view, for eyepiece that you're going to find in this price range. So besides the eyepiece, the other thing that's included is the Barlow lens. So this thing will double the magnification of any eyepiece, whether it be these guys or any other eyepiece. Cool trick, I don't think SVBONY even talks about it on their website, is that you can unscrew the bottom of this thing and screw it into pretty much any eyepiece out there, because they're all threaded for the same type of filters, for 1.25" filters. And then instead of having the 2x Barlow, this will give you about a 1.5x Barlow. So essentially, instead of having, 2 eyepieces, you essentially have a total of, essentially 6 eyepieces with using either the Barlow in the 2x configuration or in the 1.5x configuration. So kind of a cool trick for you guys. Alrighty guys, so besides the eyepiece and the Barlow, so the other things that are included is a blue filter. This thing can be used on pretty much any planet or the moon to enhance surface details, the contrast. So we'll kind of check this out when we go outside. There's also a moon filter included. This one's kind of interesting because it actually kind of looks, like purplish, like it has a purple tint, when I look at it. So I'll kind of, bring that up closer. And then it also comes with an ND filter, which I find found curious that this kit includes both these filters, because they're usually pretty interchangeable. But when I see them, visually, there is definitely a difference. This is kind of more of a purple filter. This is more of like a gray filter. And typically, like moon filters, they're kind of like this gray type of color as well. But this one lets through 25% of the light. I'm not sure what the transmission is of this one, so we'll check it out when we get outside. And, last but not least, it also, of course, comes with a little carrying bag, that's kind of cool, to put all your accessories in. Having said all that, let's get outside and test these guys and see how they perform, actually. Alrighty guys, welcome outside. So I've been kind of checking out Jupiter with the eyepieces for roughly about an hour now. I'm using the 17mm now. Overall guys, eye relief on this one is actually pretty good. An eye relief is basically how close your eye needs to be to the eyepiece. I can use it with the eye cup up. I typically prefer eye cups down on all my eyepieces. So I same thing with this one. Although with this one, with the 17mm, you could definitely use it with the eye cup up. Overall power wise, this nets me roughly like 40 something X. So pretty low power on Jupiter. Jupiter is small. All the moons are out there though. So pretty cool view. I don't have any issues with the sharpness or the contrast, although again, this is kind of too low of power. 6mm for this telescope is a lot better of a match on Jupiter. This gets you about 134X, I believe, which is a pretty good magnification. So let's check out how the eye relief is on this one. Okay, yeah, just as expected, like most Plasols, the eye relief's pretty tight on this. You definitely need to have the eye cup down to see the entire field of view with this. If you're wearing eyeglasses, that could be an issue, as far as getting close enough, with to the eyepiece, but that'll be true about any eyepieces in this price range, so that's really not knocking this eyepiece. And sorry guys, I'm not hiding away. I'm just gonna block kind of like the light coming from the camera. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah guys, the scene's actually pretty good tonight. It's not perfect, but yeah, I mean overall, the amount of detail, I will say, on Jupiter is very, very good. I mean, for an eyepiece that's, you know, part of a, you know, a $60 set. You know, the moons look like little orbs, very well defined. I can count, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 bands on Jupiter. So overall, yeah, that's a very good result. Now, like I said, I have been observing for a little bit with this. I've been comparing it to my Batter Zoom. If you've watched my channel, you know that I really like this eyepiece. I've used it a lot. It's not, you know, not necessarily the sharpest eyepiece, the best eyepiece in the world, but I've used it a lot, so I'm really familiar with, you know, how it performs. And it does have very sharp optics. I'd say, you know, it compares pretty well to the Batter Zoom, you know, from what I'm seeing. You know, at the higher magnification setting, this does have a wider field of view. But, you know, again, considering the price point of this, yeah, I mean, that's a very nice view, I've got to say. Alrighty guys, so tonight's actually kind of a special night. It's supposed to be a total lunar eclipse, so the moon's out there right now, so hopefully it'll stay clear enough for me to see that. That's still, well, you know, in a few hours. So I'm going to, you know, kind of take a look at how the filters do. I'll try to get you guys some shots through the eyepiece as well. So this is with the moon filter. As you can see, the contrast definitely a lot better. Overall though, with the camera, I'd say this actually turns out way nicer. Visually, purely looking with just my eye, it actually doesn't dim down the view quite as much as I thought it would. With the camera, this is very nice contrast increase. Alrighty guys, so this is the natural density filter here. So with the camera, it's kind of interesting. It does not look too much different from the moon filter. Visually, you could definitely tell a difference. This one's for sure darker, which I kind of like. Alrighty guys, welcome back. So hopefully you guys enjoyed those clips of the moon. The total eclipse was actually pretty cool. I got to see it, you know, as you saw from the pictures that I posted. It was remarkable that we had like weeks of rain, and then on this particular evening when the total lunar eclipse was supposed to be happening, it was actually clear. Super cool. But anyway, back to the topic of the video. What do I think about the eyepiece? Like I said, these two guys, performance-wise, you know, for what they are, I mean, you know, keep in mind, it's a 7-piece set for 60 bucks. I mean, that's, you know, for the price point that, you know, these are in, the sharpness was really good, the contrast was really good. The field of view, again, it's not like, you know, it's not like a, you know, wide field eyepiece. So that's the only constraining factor. But realistically, guys, if you're more into like observing double stars, the planets, or even, really even the moon to a certain extent, I mean, this is plenty, you know, wide enough. No, basically, I really don't see any downsides with the eyepieces at all. Barlow lens, what do I think about this guy? This is the only kind of thing that I, you know, have a little bit of a gripe with. So the Barlow lens, especially in the 2x configuration, it does have some secondary color based on some chromatic aberration towards the edges. So basically what that is, it'll show like a little bit of blue fringing, you know, the further you get out to the, you know, edge of the field of view. You know, that I kind of didn't like. When you used it in the 1.5-inch configuration, that was much less noticeable, so that is really nice. So the Barlow, you know, it's nice to have it. Again, you know, please do, you know, keep in mind, I mean, typically a good Barlow by itself will cost over 60 bucks. So, you know, I'm kind of nitpicking here, but, you know, considering that this is part of an entry-level kit, it's a nice performer. I think, you know, eventually you probably would want to step up to a better Barlow. But it is fully usable. Filters wise, what I think about the filters, this one, the blue filter, it actually made a really nice enhancement on Jupiter, so I actually like that. I typically personally don't use filters too terribly much, you know, when I'm visually observing anyway. This one, surprisingly, you know, I made a really nice improvement. The moon filter, it actually didn't dim down the moon quite as much as I expected, but you know, it's a nice filter. You know, I had no issues with it. The ND filter, this to me is kind of more like what a typical moon filter would be. So this is probably what you actually want to use on the moon. Also, all of these, you know, they are all useful on the planet. So I'd say, again, for the price point, you're getting some nice filters. Try them all out on the planets as well. So it's not just for the moon that you're going to be using them. Alrighty guys, to sum it up and bring the ship home. So what do I think about the kit overall? You know, obviously this is kind of made for like, you know, somebody that's kind of probably just getting into the hobby. If you buy your first telescope, chances are they'll usually come with a 25mm Plössl, you know, one of these that's a 25mm. So this gives you the option to really increase your power a lot, and I think that the steps that they chose here are actually really good. So you'd have, you know, probably your like, scope again came with the 25mm, then you have a 17mm and a 6mm. Again, these eyepieces are awesome. The Barlow, it kind of introduces you to the aspect of using the Barlow, so you could kind of try it out. You know, like if you're finding that the performance of this is not, you know, quite what you want, you could always upgrade in the future. You get some nice filters as well. You get a nice little carrying case, and you could probably make like, you know, if you don't want to put the Barlow in there, you could put your stock 25mm in there. So this kind of gives you a nice little, you know, concise carrying case to carry it all in. So overall, I like it. For 60 bucks, I really don't think that you could go wrong at all. So anyhow, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please leave them in the thing below. If you're not subscribed, again, please do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.